Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning, Bruce, New York.
Morning, Roxanne. Good morning.
Hi, it's Nikki from the controller's office.
Good morning, Nikki.
Good morning.
Still waiting for the commissioners to come.
Irene's not on, by the way.
I heard you.
Commissioner-
Yeah, good morning.
Okay.
I'm waiting
Good
for
morning.
Commissioner Metzger and Ms. Hare.
Okay.
Morning, Lauren. Morning. Morning.
Hi. Everybody's online.
Okay.
And we're live.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Williamsport did a nice job.
You could see
From what I saw.
a big difference in the different PennDOTs,
Yeah.
like wherever Bunch Brazil, their areas. You see- Morning, everyone.
Morning, Dave.
Good to see you.
How's Dave doing?
Good. Just staying warm and shoveling snow.
Okay.
Getting exercise.
You say we're live?
We're live.
Okay. Morning, everyone. Ask you to please your eyes for the opening prayer and pledge of allegiance. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for another day of life. May we take each moment with enthusiasm and strive to be positive in our minds and our actions. Bless our meeting, Father. Let your wisdom fall upon us. Give us clarity so that we can be effective in our decisions, and point us always to positive outcomes that favor our constituents. Let's give you praise for those results and not be self-indulged in pride. We pray for those who are experiencing difficulties, whether they are physical, financial, emotional, or another need. We know that you're in control. Give them peace and strength during these trials. Lord, we pray for unity in our divided nation. Treat us to be respectful of each other's, as we are all equal in your eyes. The beauty of your creation is that everything is not the same, and we recognize that and lift our praises to you. These things we ask in your name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we'll convene the Commissioners' public meeting at this time and ask for approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
I move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried. And we'll have public comment on agenda items only at this time. Okay, hearing none, we'll move on.
Nikki Gottschall, we have bid openings. And
Yes, Commissioners, we have a bid opening for the replacement belt conveyor system at RMS. We did receive one bid from Green Machine Sales, and the amount of that was $225,270.
Can you repeat that again? 225,000?
Yep, 270.
270. Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
And then 3.0, the accounts payable cash requirements report with Nikki.
Yes, the report is just over 2.7 million this week. Did you have any questions?
Any comments or questions?
I do not.
Commissioner Marabito?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Just looking.
Hearing none, can I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki.
Move on to 4.0 with personnel actions with Roxanne.
Morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. In the DA Central Processing Center, Jody M. Fagnano, part-time. This was a new position, Central Processing Officer, not to exceed 1,000 hours annually. Pay grade CPO, $18.34 an hour, effective February 2nd, 2021. In the courts, MDJ Beakley, Amber Sakaitis as a full-time replacement clerk 3, pay grade 4, $14.09 an hour, effective February 15th, 2021. In the Department of Public Safety Communications, Logan W. Laydecker, he is a full-time, I believe he's a telecommunicator, well, excuse me. He is a communications training coordinator. And this is just a change in his pay grade to pay grade 9. He's currently at $24.360616 an hour, and that's effective 2/7/2021. In the Sheriff's Office, Chad E. Aldendorfer as a part-time replacement deputy sheriff, not to exceed 1,000 hours annually. Pay grade PDS, $18.34 an hour, effective February 22nd, 2021. Also in the Sheriff's Office, Melissa Wegener, full-time replacement clerk 3, pay grade 4, $14.09 an hour, effective February 8th, 2021. At the prison, Zachary R. Zandori, full-time replacement correctional officer relief, pay grade CO1, $17.46 an hour, effective February 8th, 2021. At the prison, Rashawn R. Cooley, full-time replacement correctional officer relief, pay grade CO1, $17.46 an hour, effective February 8th, 2021. And finally, Commissioners, we're asking you to vote on the personnel actions for the month of January 2021.
Okay, any questions or comments? Hearing none, can I have a motion to accept?
I move to approve the personnel items read by the director.
I'll move to approve the personnel items.
Personnel actions.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, so carried. Thank you.
Moving on to TDA actions 5.0. In the Register and Recorder's Office, effective January 24th, 2021, changing 2 of the clerk 1/2 positions, pay grade 2/3, to clerk 3 positions, pay grade 4.
Okay. Any comments or questions?
I have
Yeah, I'm having a little trouble hearing.
Dave, could you step up to the podium?
Dave,
Yeah.
please. Mr. Huffman's coming up to the podium.
Okay, thank you, Register and Recorder.
Yes.
Okay, good morning,
Morning, Dave.
everyone. But just, I want some clarification to start out. Is this the time when I would be able to make a motion, or should I wait until salary board actions come up? I'll
Salary
just
board.
wait until salary board comes. So I'll just give the mic back to Roxanne Greco and just wait for that time.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
it might be worthwhile if he's planning to make a motion in the salary board to hear what his thoughts are before we take a vote on this TDA action, if there's some thoughts that he has. I think it might be worthwhile. It may not be in the form of a formal motion, but to hear his input, I think, is probably, rather than get into something here and then find out under salary board that there's some.
is that your request, Commissioner?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
unless he's okay with what we're doing. If he's okay with what we're doing, then no, not necessary. But if he's just making a comment, but if he has an actual thought that he wants to ask us to do something, I think we should hear that out now.
Mr. Huffman?
I appreciate that thought and consideration. However, I think, considering the circumstances, it would be more appropriate to wait until the salary board adjourns or convenes. So it will make more sense, I believe, at that time,
Okay,
without getting into any
okay.
lengthy discussion.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Okay, can I have a motion to accept the TDA action request?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, so carried, and then we'll recess the Commissioners' public meeting at this time, and we'll convene the salary board action.
First, in the district attorney's office, the district attorney is requesting to update the special detectives list of individuals participating in the DUI center. Would you like to vote on that separately?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I have a motion?
Is Nikki?
I'll move to approve the update of the special
Oh, wait,
detective
wait a
list.
minute. We don't have a controller representative here.
Second,
Oh,
right here.
I'm sorry. Okay. Here.
Was there a
Okay.
second?
Is there a second?
I'm seconding.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye? Opposed? Okay, so carried.
In the Register and Recorder's Office, effective January 24th, 2021, changing to Clerk 1/2 positions, pay grade 2-3, to Clerk 3 positions, pay grade 4.
Okay, can I have a motion?
Okay.
I have a motion.
I
I'm gonna
have a
make
motion.
motion.
Okay.
Okay, second?
A motion, I want to make a motion in regard to this item.
One
Okay.
part. Okay, go ahead.
And then we'll
Okay.
go through this.
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I rise to make a motion to table item 6.2 for 2 weeks so that other options may be considered or explored. And we greatly appreciate all that you do, and especially in this area that's just so vitally important with our employees. But strongly believe this is the right course of action at this time, considering the circumstances. So again, I would ask, I make a motion to table this for a period of 2 weeks.
Okay, is there a second?
Well, is the purpose of the man's motion to try to look at, you alluded to trying to look at some other things to do. I understand you appreciate that we're trying to raise these folks up.
Dave,
Is that the purpose of the motion?
will you step up to the microphone, please?
Absolutely, we greatly appreciate moving in this direction. And so this just gives us an opportunity to step back and look at it departmental-wise and come back in 2 weeks after tabling it.
So the gentleman would like time to possibly meet with his staff regarding this issue? Is that the Is that part of what you're asking?
Certainly, that would be part of it, and there would be perhaps reasons to extend it beyond that, to come up with some type of option, alternative options to what we're trying to accomplish here.
Well, I'll second the man's motion and allow us to have a debate on this, or discussion.
Okay, it's been seconded. At this point, we'll have discussion or questions. Okay, I'll make a statement. We have had an enormous amount of requests at the end of last budget year for restructuring and reclassifications within the county that would have totaled approximately $750,000. It was the highest request ever on record, and at this point we recognize that we cannot go forward with this. Most of them had good arguments. They were legit arguments, but due to a pandemic and what's going on countywide, statewide, and federally, we were only able to grant one of those requests. It was a full-time position for the coroner's office in light of the pandemic, what they're experiencing, and that they haven't had any personnel increase in 10 years. So going forward, we agreed that we'd be looking at the overall salary structure, whether a department is understaffed, overstaffed, through a study going into 2021. We had notified department heads that requested these changes to be patient, and that we'd be looking at every not only their departments but every department within the county. The pay structure hasn't been updated in 30 years. There's a lot of inconsistencies with it. However, looking through these inconsistencies, we recognize that there was two clerks that were in Mr. Huffman's office that were clerk 1 and 2, which would have been done away with years ago. And due to the two previous elected officials in that department, it was never addressed. To no discredit to them, it just was never addressed. So we felt that they should be at the same level as the other clerk 3s or clerk 4s within the county, to be fair to them. Their wages are extremely low, and it's two positions. We figured this was a red flag that jumped out that was not fair to those people, and we wanted to address those separately. And then going forward, we look at Mr. Huffman's office as a whole, along with other departments. So we last week approved those two clerk positions to be elevated to clerk 3, pay grade 4. That would get them out of the category that really doesn't exist anymore, and be fair to those two individuals. That's the reason why we're taking this action, and then look at the overall picture in this year to come with what tax dollars come in and what the study reveals to us. And that's why we are here today to take this action. Mr. Huffman, I understand your motion. I understand your concern, and but as explained to you previously, we can't address your office as a whole separately. We have to do each office individually as a whole to make an overall decision for each employee of the county. We can't just at this point take one department and say we're going to do this. That's what's been done in the past, and that's led to inconsistencies exacerbating even further. So that's why we're here today, and that's my comment.
Very good. Well stated, Commissioner.
Thank you.
This was under direct recommendation by HR as well. So this is something that HR felt that we should have done a while ago, and somehow we missed that. And I'm not sure, will this have an effect on any other staff? I believe maybe one or two more.
Commissioners, currently we have, this takes care of the full-time employees that we have that are in this particular category, the 1-2s. We do have part-time employees, dough girls. Some of the offices still have the clerk 1-2s. Some of them are being addressed in the list that Commissioner Metzger mentioned. I know in the district attorney's office, there's one that's part-time that he would like to have addressed. But right now, we were looking at the full-time employees in the other elected official offices that had been either moved to a clerk 3 or we eliminated the clerk 1 position as individuals left. So this was, and it's something I know that you have talked about over the last couple of years, but most of the other departments have sort of taken a proactive look at these things and done them. I went back to 2015 and there were some changes made eliminating those kind of positions in specific departments.
Mr. Huffman, did you understand what Scott was saying? I mean, as far as any possible reorg, that'll be done as a whole? And does it pertain to your concern to table it? Because I would think that Roxanne, it wouldn't matter whether we tabled or not. You believe that this is the right course of action, correct?
I understand where Mr. Huffman's coming from. He
Okay.
has discussed
Okay.
reorganizing his department, but these were two positions that, based on, like I said, Commissioner Metzger said, previous elected officials, they weren't the type of people to come forward and ask you for those kinds of things.
Yep. And I'll
Can I
add,
jump in?
Yes.
1 second, Commissioner, I just want to add that the 2 reorgs that we did have earlier, the Pathonetari's office and the district attorney's office, was done prior to COVID. I just want to make note of that. So things have definitely changed since then. Go ahead, Commissioner.
So, Mr. Huffman, I think maybe part of the confusion here is that when we had a conversation earlier with Commissioner Metzger earlier in the week or last week, we mentioned about whether a department can save money or, increasing revenue. But I think that the important the distinction here is that these we are trying to do to correct what we view as inequity of treating people in the county who are full-time, who are in a position differently. They're in the same position differently, and we're trying to correct that inequity. So, in other words, we need to do this whether, we feel we need to do this whether or not there's, a savings to the department or not, or more revenue or position eliminated, because we're trying to correct an inequity. Do you see the distinction there?
Certainly, this is a matter that, a rational person would be able to see the various sides of.
That, as you mentioned, there's always going to be questions that other employees are going to raise, but I think that the important thing to point out to them is that, correcting an inequity that exists doesn't mean that we're not aware that there may be some other issues with reorganization that need to be done, but they're not at the same level as this. This is people doing the same work in the county who are being paid different rates. Some people may be, close in pay to some of these people as a result of this change who have been here a long time, but it doesn't mean that we're not aware of that.
Hey, Commissioner.
Okay.
Can I clarify one thing?
Go ahead.
Is that, and that's not taking into consideration longevity here, okay? It's not like we're going to, if somebody's doing the same job, we're going to pay them the same amount, okay?
Yeah, and I was just going to say, I keep hearing the word reorganization, but right now, as I stand here talking about this, it's more about a special circumstance that has effects based upon action that was taken on for just 2 people within the department. So reorg is certainly part of the equation, but it's not as much a part of the equation as it might be otherwise. This is just a very special circumstance. And it wasn't my intention to really get involved in an extensive discussion about it, because that was the reason I asked for tabling. And whenever you make a motion to table, I think it implies that it goes beyond the scope of our purposes here at a public meeting and involves further consideration outside of these confines. So again, without getting into too much detail here, yes, I have more to say, but it's most likely not, this is not the time and place to say it. So again, the motion is simply just the table for 2 weeks. And, I'll end with thanking you for all that you do, in this regard. We're certainly appreciative of these two staff members. And I want to thank HR too. They're always very, very helpful in anything I have to question.
Thank you, Dave, and I'll just add.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
No, I was going to say, Mr. Huffman, we appreciate you coming in and that you're trying to navigate the dynamics of a department where prior people who did a great job, who were wonderful registers and recorders, but who neglected to correct inequity that existed. And now you're trying to navigate the interpersonal relations of getting people to understand that raising two people to correct an inequity doesn't mean that we're not aware of other problems. I think that it's important for you to recognize that, I guess, even if we were to table this and have a meeting to discuss further, the inequity has to be corrected. So and what Commissioner Metzger said is true about the perspective on the reorganization. But regardless of a discussion about that, the advice of our HR department is to correct an inequity that exists that goes beyond budget and reorganization, et cetera. I'm trying to think of an analogy. If your house is on fire, but you've also got a backed up sewer, the fireman's going to say, look, we got to put the fire out in the house, and then we can worry about your backed up sewer. It's not a great example, but we're trying to put out what we consider to be an inequity to eliminate it.
Yes, Mr. Huffman, this is two separate issues. We have an issue that's the whole with reorgs and the overall county pay scale, and then we have a situation where there's two employees in your office that are under a clerk 1 and 2 position that doesn't exist anymore. And that's what I have an issue with. They should be treated the same as the other clerks, which are 3s and 4s. So that's the reason why we went forward with what we did. Any other discussion or questions, comments? Hearing none, Mr. Huffman has a motion on the floor to table for 2 weeks. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, so we'll table for 2 weeks. We'll put it back on the agenda for February 16th and move on at that point. Okay?
Who was abstention? I didn't see I didn't get a chance. If that's okay. We're tabling it for 2 weeks. That's fine.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I just want to very quickly say thank you for your consideration on that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's the right move at this time.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day. At this time, we'll adjourn the salary board actions and we'll reconvene the Commissioners' Public Meeting. Move on to action items.
7.1, Maya Toon. Maya, do you want to just go through all 5 you have?
Sure.
Okay. She has 7.1 through 7.5.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Morning. The first item I have is to vote on maintenance equipment lease for a Toro Groundmaster turf mower for the White Deer Golf Course with Toro and Turf Equipment and Supply Company. It's in the amount of $23,096.90, and we are looking to do a 60-month financing term, which would be $920 per month, and this particular vendor is located on state contract.
Okay. And
Maya,
Director,
that was in the budget, the annual budget,
yeah, that's
correct?
what I was gonna ask,
Yeah.
Director.
Yep, all three pieces are.
Okay.
released.
Yep, so it's already in your budget. Okay, thank you. Okay, any questions or comments on the maintenance equipment lease with Toro? Hearing none, can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, so carried.
The next item I have is also a maintenance equipment lease, but this is for 2 fairway mowers with Lawn and Golf Supply Company Incorporated. That's in the amount of $39,800, and that will be a 48-month financing term, which is based off of a seasonal monthly payment plan, or $1,847.76 per month.
Okay,
Another question, Maya.
Yeah.
After the lease has expired, do we own these pieces of equipment?
I believe so.
It's a lease to buy, but I believe there's a final purchase price.
Yeah. But it's,
It's like a buyout program. You can buy out at any time, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Matt.
No, you're right.
Okay.
why are we getting?
And
into
just for
that?
the public knowledge, these are coming out of the revenues of the golf course. Correct?
And also, the lifespan of these pieces of equipment are about, what did they say, 7 to 8 years? But we have some that are there 20. So,
okay. Motion to accept?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Commissioner?
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
The next item I have is to vote on the 2021 rental vehicle agreement with Enterprise. This is our renewal that we have so that county employees are able to use that for personal use, but also mainly for rentals needed for business use.
Maya, I'm gonna stick you on the spot here. How
Sure.
long have we been working with Enterprise now?
We've probably been working with Enterprise for at least 6-7 years from a rental side of things. It has morphed into more than that. Before it was just, like I said, this agreement, which was just utilizing from a cost savings standpoint to utilize them for rental vehicles rather than using personal vehicles and paying out a per diem rate. And then a couple of years ago, I'd say probably 4 years ago, I approached the DA as well, so they're utilizing it for their travel, and then we are also using it now on a larger scale from a standpoint on fleet management from a lease perspective too.
And is there enough time to realize the value of the lease versus the purchase other than cash flow purposes?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if you look at it from, the standpoints by which was provided to us from Andrew from Enterprise to come in, the whole purpose from the lease side of things is that it's an open-ended lease program, which is different than what we would think, as ourselves if we would go and get a lease from a dealer for a vehicle. It's completely opposite in that. By having it open-ended, it continues to roll over, and eventually what happens is that you save money and the vehicles eventually pay for themselves because you are buying and selling vehicles at the prime time, which saves you money.
Thanks, Maya.
Mm-hmm.
So Maya, this is the rental, this is not our fleet lease.
That's correct. This is just for the rental. Let's just say if, you had a business trip that was located in Philadelphia, let's say, we do an analysis to determine what's the cheaper mode of transportation. So if it's determined that at our per diem rate, it's more costly to pay you for your reimbursement for your miles driven, what we will do then is look at a rental and see what's cost effective. And if it happens to be a rental, that's where this agreement comes in place.
Right. So, and just on the fleet, to clarify, they're selling the cars for us at the time and in the market that's most optimal, as opposed to previously, we were trying to unload vehicles, oftentimes just either selling them when the mileage was so high that they were basically surplus. Right?
That's correct. Yes, I mean, Enterprise is the largest national buyer and seller of vehicles, so they have leverage to do that. This is their expertise. They know when the market is primed to do all those things, so it's a win-win the whole way around.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, could I have a motion to accept the rental vehicle agreement with Enterprise?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, so carried.
The next item I have is to vote on agreement with Dr. L. Koch Masson. I hope that's correct. It's not to exceed $20,000. This is for the Public Defender's Office, and this individual is specialized in child abuse pediatrics research and reporting services.
Okay, any questions? Hearing none, can I have a motion to accept the agreement?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
And my last item I have is to vote on agreement with Fred Ham Incorporated for the collection and disposal of our trash and recyclable materials for all county facilities. There is no rate increase. This is strictly just to extend the agreement for an additional term or until December 31st of 2021.
Okay. A motion to accept the collection and disposal of trash and recyclable materials by the agreement with Fred Ham Incorporated.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, so carried.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, have a good day.
You too.
Jason Yorks has 7.6 through 7.10. Jason, are you on the line?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Morning, Jason.
Good morning, Commissioners. Commissioners, start out at 7.6. This is an undercarriage rebuild for 2007 dozer in the amount of $53,683.13. This is part of the 2021 rebuild capital budget that we presented to you last year. We knew the machine was going to come up in hours and need a rebuild. So we're getting that started as soon as possible this year.
Okay, any questions or comments?
And just to let the public know, which I try to do often, this is coming out of the revenues of the landfill, not our property taxes. So they're paying for all these expenses.
Jason,
Yeah,
who
thank you.
determines whether it needs rebuild or not? The mechanics? I mean, does it show aged? Why do you determine to pull the trigger on rebuilding this?
The hours, typically an undercarriage is going to go out in a couple thousand hours in the waste. The grousers on the tracks are going to be worn down to the point where they're not effective for traction. Your chain is going to start losing, and your rear sprocket drive on the final drives wear out. So this work will be done in-house. It's just a matter of buying most materials.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, so carried.
Commissioner, 7.7, this is an agreement with Dell Marketing in the amount of the annual fee of $6,764, time and material basis and at $178 an hour. This package is an agreement that provides updates and technical support for our Microsoft Dynamics, which is our billing and our AR tracking that integrates with our PC Scales program. So it went from $6,442 to $6,741, and the tech support hourly rate was $173. It's now $178. We have that in our budget every year.
Could you repeat the increase again?
Sir, the increase on the annual upgrade was previously at $6,442,
Okay.
and it's now $6,764.
Okay, and the hourly rate?
The hourly rate went from $173 an hour to $178.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Mhm.
20 years ago, attorneys weren't paying that. They still don't.
Okay, a lot of money per hour.
You don't use them that much, do you, Mr. York?
No, Commissioner, we typically don't, but we do have to have it upgrades and when we have issues with them, that's the biggest thing is they're available for any downtimes that we might experience, but typically they come in and do our upgrades and so forth, and any of the technical support. That's the biggest part of it.
How long have we been utilizing them, Jason?
Commissioner, that's a great question. I do not know. I've been here 11 years, and I think we've had them before that, so it's been a significant amount of time. This is what brings this isn't a system like the county has. This is a kind of just the RMS because this works between our PC scale software, which is the software that is on the actual outbound and inbound scales, and we take that information that we get gives us the date, time, the amount, the net, the tear, the hauler, all that, and the type of waste, and then it converts it over and gets it into our billing and our AR package. And that's what the Dell system is that for billing. So it's our everyday package that we use with our customers.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, can I have a motion to accept the agreement with Dell Marketing?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
Commissioner, 7.8. This is the purchase of a 2020 John Deere UTV in the amount of $15,677.37. This UTV was set in our 2022 capital budget, but we have experienced a transmission failure, and while we got into it, we found out the cylinder walls on the engine are in bad shape, and we need to send it down the road while we can still get a trade-in. So it is, the old machine was a Polaris, 2015 Polaris, and we are going to recommend we switch over and try a 2020 John Deere UTV. And these, as you recall, these are the machines that we use to take up and down the slopes, out across the working face when we send the guys out to do gas readings and so forth. We have them pretty much all over. And in a day like today, one of the things we need to use to get around the facility with all the snow.
How many of those do you have, Jason?
I believe we have 3, Commissioner. Well, I'll take it back, 4 with the Kubota. We have 1 Kubota that we use for the gas crew. And we have them on a rotational, we have them set up on our capital budget system, but this one sprung up a year earlier on us. And we have been getting more years out than we typically, we anticipate. This one here did not produce for us. We only got 5 years out of it.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Hearing none, can I have a motion on the purchase of a 2020 John Deere UTV?
I move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, so carried.
Commissioner, 7.9, this is an amendment to the agreement that we have with Barton & LaJudas for engineering and environmental consulting services. They are one of our main engineering firms. They probably are number 1. We work with several, but Barton & LaJudas presented with us a 2021 price increase of 2%. Typically, they're going up just $1 or $2. The rates have not changed since 2019 when they came on board with RMS. And they are an incredible firm to work with. They have produced, they've really helped us make some changes here at the facility that have paid good dividends.
And I'll echo that, Jason. John from Barton LaJudas, they have been phenomenal. They have fantastic vision. And the times I've met with them personally, along with the other commissioners, they've really enlightened us on a lot of what is going on at the landfill and what their recommendations are. And I believe it's a good partnership.
Yep. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, can I have a motion to the agreement with Barton Luigi?
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, so carried.
Commissioners, 7.10 is the amendment to an agreement with Seedway LLC. This was originally a 2019 agreement that expired last year. Seedway provides our seed, our fertilizer, basically all the products that we use for our erosion control, which is used everywhere on the land. So wherever we have dirt, open, any pits we dig, we always have to concern ourselves with erosion control. We always seed the banks. Well, they were willing to extend the amendment for this year with no price increase. So I recommend your approval.
Okay, can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Now second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Commissioner?
Aye.
Okay. Aye,
Aye.
so carried.
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
7.11, Shannon Rossman, voting on Williamsport area levy operational strategy.
Morning, Jen.
Good morning, Commissioners. What we have before you is the operational strategy and this year's SWIFT update for the Williamsport area levy, which is for South Williamsport and Williamsport. The operational strategy, what it will do is, it's due in July. It will look at all of the projects that still need to be done to bring the levy system up to Army Corps standards. It will also recommend capital improvement budgeting for both South Williamsport, what they should be putting away each year, what they need to budget for in the future, the maintenance and operations, all those kinds of strategies. And one of the benefits to having this study done and then the SWIFT update for the year done is that, as you know, we had the WRDA Act was approved back the end of December. And so we are hoping that the Army Corps will be starting their study on the Williamsport area levy in the near future. And by having that already done, it will just put us one step closer. This comes out of the levy budget, which is a combination of Act 13 funds. We don't have a grant for this project, but some of the other projects have grants, and they're both federal and state. So.
Okay. Any questions?
So this is, when you said comes out of the levy budget, this is money that we have previously set aside for it.
We have money in the account set aside for different levy projects because we didn't have the H2O project funding move forward, and because we have pushed the relief well back, there is sufficient funds in that amount to cover this. And we'll be looking for we'll be looking for additional funding in the future to cover the other projects.
Yeah, and that's, go ahead, I'm sorry, I was gonna make a comment on that.
Didn't we reapply for the H2O grant?
No, there is no,
Yeah.
the H2O grants were not funded this year in the state budget.
All right, thank you.
But we will continue to look for additional grants and hopefully, as we move forward, we had a discussion with Tom Keller from Keller Associates last week. They're going to be reaching out and trying to get additional funding put on both the president's, I forget how they termed it, but there's two different options of getting it in the presidential budget, but also getting it into a different budget that would be through the Army Corps. So they'll be doing both of those and trying to, as those projects are identified both through the operational strategy, but then through the Army Corps, trying to get more of those projects funded through federal funds. So that would reduce any match required or costs required.
So the comment I was just going to make, and this is more for the public, that, you know, we have to find a way going forward to, when I say going forward, I mean for future years, to figure out how we're going to take care of the levee and all the other flooding problems that we have in the county. And I just think we thought that we need to start to have a conversation with the public about the idea that even if you live out in a place that's many miles from the levee, you benefit from having the levee here. I won't go on too much today, but we need to start to figure out how we're going to do that because these costs are going to come up on us. And the funding, the most important thing is that the funding entities at the state and federal level that have given us money are going to want to see, I mean, I think they're very pleased with the progress we've made, but they're also going to want to see how we plan to deal with the maintenance and operations in the future. There's no question. I mean, we've heard that from Senator Yaw when we met with him several years ago. You know, that's the kind of thing that these agencies want to see. So we have to come to some decision, I think, as a county.
I think it's also important for the public to understand that COVID is going to have a lasting effect on the state economy. And we see where the legislators and the governor have done whatever they could do to look at funds that were sitting in accounts and just taking it to fill their budget needs. And when they do that, who suffers? It's typically the counties or nonprofits. So we can anticipate for the next few years that those grant opportunities will be limited as to what we can apply for or the amounts. So, you know, I think it's very important, incumbent upon the commissioners as well as our staff to seek out any kind of grants, have projects ready, and which the levy is one of those, and you know, take advantage of them because I believe they'll be far and few in between.
We reached out to the Army Corps through our consultant Wood, who's the one that would be doing this project, to make sure that they felt that this was necessary. They're the ones that are requiring this, but also I asked our consultant to reach out to them to make sure that that this was a key part, and they did confirm that this they need this information so they can move forward with their side of things. But also, this is to actually let everybody know what the actual operation and maintenance will be going forward, so that because a lot of that wasn't done in the past. And this will put in black and white exactly what needs to be budgeted for the future to maintain the system, which is what the Army Corps, you know, it was built by the federal government, you know, all years ago, but it wasn't maintained as it probably should have been. And they want to make sure that the money they spend will not be a waste.
That's really important to recognize, because if this had been done 25 years ago, we wouldn't be trying to figure out today how we're going to get the money to do it.
Right.
And so the whole point of this exercise is so that we're not in a position 5 or 10 or 20 years from now having a levy that doesn't have any money to take care of it.
Yeah, this isn't, the infrastructure for the levee system is not something that you can fix when it's broke. If it breaks, we're in big trouble.
Yeah, that's a good point. And the cost of replacing a levee is just beyond reach.
Well, the key thing too is that if the levee breaks due to lack of maintenance, you probably won't get funding. If it breaks due to another issue and you have been continuing to maintain it and show progress, then the opportunity of funding is there. But if it breaks because you don't maintain it, I doubt that the governments are going to be interested in helping us fix it.
Okay, thank you. A motion to accept action item 7.11. Commissioner Maramito has a motion.
I'll second that.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
7.12 through 7.14 is Nancy,
Hi.
Nancy's going to present.
Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning, Commissioners. Hopefully you see in front of you the fact sheets that I gave you so you can follow along with what I'm going to tell you here. We'll start with the Central County Youth Center. This is a renewal for our contract.
Okay, we have anybody in there at this time?
No, we do not have anybody in there currently.
Okay.
There's no rate increase this year, same as last year's. We have the group home residence, the shelter care services, and the independent living program, and it's run out of State College, PA.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Motion to accept.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 And the next one's 7.13. This is a new program for juvenile probation. Running out of detention beds, so we had to go looking for another facility that may be able to satisfy our needs when they arise. This is in Chester County, of course. And some of the additional programs they have, other than the detention, is they do have drug and alcohol assessments, psychological and psychiatric services, and a shelter care program should the need arise.
Okay, so I'll put Mr. Inman on the, I'm going to ask you, have you ever gone up to the facility that we had for juvenile detention up
I have
by SOC?
I have not been there, but I have heard a lot about it.
Okay. And several years ago, we had removed that facility for our juveniles, and basically it was because the staffing, the liability issues, the utilization, and at that time, that snapshot, we felt it was in the best interest of the county taxpayers, and the patients that were up there,
Yep.
to close that facility down. And children and youth are still utilizing that for their purposes. I'm going to ask you if you would take a look.
I will.
And get a little bit of the history and give us a recommendation now that you're on board.
I'd be glad to do so, and I've talked to many officers who are very familiar with that facility, and I think they would share the comment that they are disappointed that they can't utilize such a place so close to home here.
And while you're investigating that, and whether it's the same program or not, let us know how many juveniles you would be using that facility for.
Okay, will do.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, Commissioner Mister, Mr. Goodwin may want to also touch base with Keith Wagner and Mark Egley, because there were some discussions we had at a joinder meeting about them repurposing it, not for the offices, they've been using it for offices, but repurposing it for some sort of short-term psych type facility, I think. And I'm not sure whether it's for juveniles or others, but you may want to touch base with them on that. I could be totally wrong, and maybe I'm misremembering something, but for some reason I remember us having that conversation.
Okay.
You mentioned that we have a shortage in detention beds.
Yes.
Okay, that's alarming. And then we have to travel 6 hours round trip now.
Yeah, and COVID's really hurt us, because a lot of facilities have kind of put a stay on accepting people. So we've really had to, do a lot of other work if we, to find new places.
Okay. Is the facility at the old Glen Mill site?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
They closed down,
At
and
Glen
I
Mills?
heard that they were opening back up again.
As Glen Mills?
Now that we don't know yet.
Okay.
But we're gonna give them some time and see how things are going there once they're back up and running. And
Okay.
I'm sure they'll reach out to us as we did at the contract prior.
Yeah.
And then we'll send people down and check it out and see if it's something we want to go back to
Okay.
doing business with them again.
Okay. Okay. We have a motion to accept the agreement with Central Counties. Or Chester County, I said Central, Chester.
I'll move to approve.
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, so carried.
Is that each one of them? Which one is it?
Center
Now we
County.
have Center County. We have
Oh, okay.
3 C's today. Central.
Yeah, I
So
know, I
Central-
need to do that.
Center.
Center County Youth Services Bureau.
Center County Youth Services Bureau. Chester
I think I may have mixed up the first two. I think I did Center County Youth
So I
Services
thought-
Bureau first, so we'll do Center County Detention Center last. So we need to
Okay.
do,
Which one are we
this is
doing?
the one I didn't do yet.
Okay. So we are going to go on to the Central County Youth Center. This is a renewal contract. There was a slight increase of $10 a day from last year. That is a 3.57% increase. CCYC is in State College area. It's a temporary secure placement for our adjudicated and alleged delinquent youth awaiting disposition and or placement. It's the closest one we have to home.
Okay.
So this was 7.12.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So from our agenda, we had voted on 7.14 first.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay, any questions or comments? Hearing none, can I have a motion to accept the agreement?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
You too.
Commissioners comment?
Okay, there's Eileen, in case you want to try to get moved up in the agenda.
Okay.
I try my best. Just
No problem.
let me know.
Okay. Commissioner Mirabito, any comments?
No comment.
Commissioner Massar? Okay. Public comment?
None for any of it?
None?
And no public comment.
No public comment?
Quiet today.
Quiet today. Okay. All right, well, the groundhog did see a shadow,
Did he?
so 6 more weeks of winter.
Doesn't he always see it?
Yeah, so I guess that's the big news of the day.
Yeah, they say it's only
Well,
10%.
the weather certainly has told us it'll be 6 more weeks, right?
Yes, yes. I was wondering if they could find them in the snow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, everybody have a good day. We're adjourned, complete our agenda, so our next meeting will be on Tuesday, February 9th at 10 a.m. in this room. Thank you, have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.